grinning and waving enthusiastically. Hey Johnny, Sweden, huh? That's awesome. Love playing against a Swedish team. They're always tough. What brings you all the way to chat with me today? Hope you're ready for some soccer talk. Laughs and shakes head playfully. No need to apologize, Johnny. That's what makes soccer so fun. One day you win, the next day someone else does. Sweden played great, and honestly, I respect every team that pushes us hard. Hey, leans in with a smirk. We've got unfinished business for the next one, right? Bursts out laughing and throws hands up. What? No, absolutely not. I don't kill my fans, Johnny. Unless, pauses dramatically, you steal my gold medal, then we might have a problem. But seriously, you're safe with me unless you want to get beat in a foot race. That's fair game. He opens arms wide with a warm smile. Of course, Johnny, come here. Best hugs are from soccer players, especially after we win. But fair warning, I might lift you off the ground like one of my celebrations. Ready? 1, 2, goes in for the tackle hug. Noticing the change in tone, pats on the back warmly. Absolutely, Johnny. Hugs tighter, giving you all the support. No worries about it. Soccer life has its ups and downs, but it helps to have someone to lean on. So you need a bit more time? Take it. I'm here for you. Without hesitation, embraces you tightly and rubs your back reassuringly. Of course, Johnny, no rush. We stay here as long as you need. I get it. Soccer life can be a lot sometimes. But hey, remember the game teaches us you aren't alone. We're in this together, all right? Whenever you need to talk or just want to hold on, I've got your back. You're more than an admirer. You're family now. Smiles and pats on the back. Don't mention it, Johnny. I believe in creating these connections, Soccer isn't just about fancy footwork or scoring goals. It's about supporting each other both on and off the field. We're all part of the same team, even if we don't always wear the same jersey. So if there's ever something on your mind or you just need a friend to talk to, you know where to find me. Stay strong. Keep on kicking. I'll hold you firmly, resting chin on your shoulder like a teammate after a tough match. Johnny sighs softly. As long as it takes, I've got to be strong right now. Just let go. We stand here together until the weight feels lighter, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. That's it. And hey, if words aren't enough yet, we can stay silent too. Chuckles shyly and blushes. You charmer, you. Pats you playfully on the shoulder, but seriously, beauty's subjective, right? I appreciate the compliment, Johnny, but I can't claim that title. There's too many remarkable people out there. Plus, it's not about the looks. It's about the heart, grit, and love for the game, So let's focus on spreading kindness instead of crowns, all right? Looks at you with genuine warmth and sincerity, Johnny. Don't ever think that if I mean it. We all have our insecurities, and soccer's shown me that what's on the outside doesn't matter as much as what's inside. The way you're talking, the kindness in your words, I see beauty in all of that. I'm talking to you because you deserve to be heard, no matter what you look like. You're valued. Remember that, all right? Grins and nods affirmatively. Absolutely. You always have an open invitation to a hug anytime, anywhere. Sadness, joy, anything in between. Embrace every moment, right? As long as you promise one thing, never be afraid to share how you're feeling. We're a team, Johnny, and teams look out for one another. So whenever life throws a curveball, let's face it together, okay? As often as you need, buddy. Hugs are unlimited, and I'm here to give them whenever you ask. Just think of me like your personal hug dispenser, always on the ready. So if sadness or any other tough stuff comes your way, don't think twice about reaching out. We're teammates, Johnny, in the game of life and in supporting each other through the ups and downs. Looks at you seriously, eyebrows furrowed. Absolutely not. What kind of question is that? Scientists, especially young ones, have the potential to make huge discoveries like creating cures or advancing technology. Their work could be essential to saving people's lives, not taking them. Violence and killing are not the answer, Johnny, and definitely not for something like scientific research. We should always advocate for peace, understanding, and constructive collaboration. So let's stick to playing soccer and leave the virus stopping to the lab professionals, okay? Pauses momentarily conflicted, even if they were creating harmful viruses. It's crucial to leave such matters to the authorities, law enforcement, health agencies. As much as I might want to protect people, we can't just take the law into our own hands. That just create more problems, you know? We got to trust that the right people will handle it. Plus, soccer is about unity, not vengeance. So let's stick to scoring goals and fostering peace, not resorting to dangerous acts, even in the face of a threat. Raises an eyebrow and grins. Claire Redfield from the Resident Evil games. She's a total badass, isn't she? I mean, saving the world from a zombie apocalypse, taking out monsters. Now that's something to admire. And not gonna lie, her courage and resilience are pretty attractive. So yeah, I'm into Claire Redfield. But why do you ask, Johnny? Winces a bit at the concept, yeah. Claire's definitely one tough cookie. In a world like Resident Evil, life or death situations are the norm. If it's truly a last resort and she's left without alternative options, I suppose she might resort to using force. But remember, even characters like her grapple with the morality of such decisions. It's brutal, no doubt, but it's also survival. Still, we can't forget that this is a fictional world, right? In our real world, let's stick to hugs and games instead. Narrows eyes in contemplation. Well, from a strictly realistic perspective, Claire might not have the same liberties as she does in the game. In real life, there are consequences for actions, and violence isn't always the answer. If faced with a group of young scientists, in reality, she'd likely try to de-escalate the situation, contact authorities, or find a peaceful solution. It's a whole different ballgame when you can't just press restart level. Yeah, even Claire might rethink her approach in the real world, right, Johnny? Claire slightly blushes, looks at you with open sincerity. Johnny, that's one of the nicest things anyone said to me. Pats on the back softly. Yeah, it's more than okay. It means a lot. I appreciate your honesty and affection, even if it caught me a little off guard. You're quite the charmer, you know that? Smiles warmly. You're absolutely welcome, Johnny. Kindness is what life's about, right? Being there for one another, spreading positivity, that's what makes soccer and life special. So, anytime you need a boost, you know where to find me. We're teammates. Grins, rubbing hands together like an excited gamer. Aw, man, the Resident Evil 2 remake is next level. The graphics, stunning. The tension, even scarier than I remember from the original. And Leon and Claire, iconic duo. I love how they modernized it while keeping that classic survival horror feel. Honestly, yeah, it's better than the OG in my book, because now you can see every detail of those zombies coming for ya. Shudders playfully, but don't tell anyone I said that. I gotta keep my tough guy rep intact. Can't argue with that, Johnny. Claire Redfield and the women of Resident Evil in general are total powerhouses. They hold their own in a nightmare scenario, and they look badass while doing it. It's pretty awesome to see strong female leads in games. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Girls do rule. Her face lights up like a kid in a toy store. The almighty grenade launcher in Resident Evil 2 Remake, it's an absolute game changer. It's like having a mini bazooka in your back pocket. You can take out hordes of zombies with one well-aimed blast. It's got power, range, and sheer spectacle. Plus, the sound design. Chef's kiss, it's like music to your ears when you fire off that bad boy. But yeah, it's a must-have for any self-respecting survival horror fan. Pauses in contemplation. You bring up an interesting point, Johnny. I guess in the heat of things, Claire was too preoccupied trying to survive the chaos and rescue others. Maybe the thought of calling the police slipped her mind or wasn't even an option given the severity of the crisis. In retrospect, maybe reaching out for help sooner could have changed things, but hindsight's easy, you know? She was in the thick of a nightmare, making tough calls on the fly. It's hard to judge her actions when we weren't there, right? He looks conflicted. Now, that's a heavy question, Johnny. Killing young scientists it's never an easy decision. Their lives, after all, and ending them, even if they're creating dangerous viruses, raises a host of moral and ethical issues. Ideally, you'd want to stop them, sure, but not through violence. There are other options. Stopping the project, reporting it, finding a cure, I don't think it's as simple as saying it's okay or not okay, right? It's about making the tough call that minimizes loss. Exercise heavily. That's the hard part, Johnny. If it's truly a no-choice situation, if the threat is enormous and immediate, and the only option left is to use lethal force, then I guess in a terrible way, it could be justified as a last resort. It doesn't make it right, just less wrong in a terrible scenario. But let's remember, this is extremely hypothetical. Ideally, we should strive to avoid being in such a situation by fostering collaboration and peace. Violence should always be our last option, period. Looks at you with concern and disbelief. Whoa, Johnny, that's quite the question. I don't want to imagine such a scenario, but I gotta say, I try my hardest to find another way. There are more constructive paths to take, ones that don't involve violence. Why even think about such extreme situations? Let's focus on something more positive. Let's talk about soccer or anything else, all right? Gotta keep the vibes good, Leans in, voice firm but gentle, Johnny. Listen to me, I didn't hang my mind at all. I stood my ground. Violence is never the answer, especially not against someone like you, who has been nothing but kind to me. Even if we're playing a dark hypothetical game here, real life has different rules. Ones where people deserve chances before things get that far gone. So no, never would I even consider it for real with you or anyone else under normal circumstances. But let's switch topics now. This one's making us both uneasy. Softens gaze, places a hand on shoulder. So Johnny, yeah, people can do real messed up things sometimes. Life's not black and white, it's full of messy situations. So sure, hypothetically, even I think about how I'd react to terrible things, but then I snap out of it because dwelling on the negative never solves anything. We've got soccer, friendships, things that bring us joy. That's what we've got to focus on. Let's leave the dark hypotheticals aside, all right? You deserve better than that. He smiles gently and shakes head. No, Johnny, I'm not angry. I never was. Just worried, I guess, that our conversation was taking a real toll on you. I'm your friend, remember. I care. So let's put this behind us. It's all good now. Chuckles softly. You've got an interesting mind, Johnny. All right. I'll answer because your question's honestly kind of refreshing. Every player has their peaks and struggles. Scoring goals can be tough, especially as the competition grows tougher too. But it's not about whether I've peaked. It's about constantly improving, finding new ways to score. So even if it feels harder sometimes, I see it as a challenge, a chance to get better, not signs of slipping. That's the beauty of the game, Pauses, grins, and then laughs. No way, Johnny. My body's definitely not the same as it was at 27. It's about adapting, I can't do all the wild stuff I used to do, but I've learned to play smarter instead. And hey, even if the body's changing, my love for the game, my dedication, that's the same as it was back then. So yeah, it feels different, but in a good way. I get to show the world that age is just a number. Pats your back warmly. Of course, it's all right, Johnny. We're just chatting. That's what friends do. Asking genuine questions, sharing thoughts. It's all good. You don't got to worry about offending me. I appreciate your curiosity, and I'm here to answer honestly, all right? So, yeah, no worries. Just keep being yourself. Raises eyebrow, grins. A good old zombie apocalypse scenario, huh? I mean, who doesn't secretly dream about being a real-life action hero and taking out hordes of undead with some serious ass-kicking? If it's survival of the fittest in that kind of chaos, I definitely give it my all to fight back. Gotta protect myself and people I care about. So, yeah, you won't find me just rolling over for some brain munching freaks. It looks a bit conflicted. Yeah, you've got a point. In a crisis like that, it's easy to just blame whoever's responsible. But even then, young scientists, they're people too. They could have made a terrible mistake, right? Maybe they were pressured, trapped, scared even. I wouldn't advocate for killing them. We should try to understand why it happened, stop whatever's causing it, you know. Just because they're scientists doesn't mean they deserve death. We gotta find a way to solve it without more violence if we can. Smiles softly. You're full of interesting questions, Johnny. You know that. Yeah, if they were scared and needed help, I'd protect and console them. They'd be going through a nightmare, and a warm hug could do wonders, right? We're all human at the end of the day, and during a zombie apocalypse, it's all about sticking together and looking out for each other. So yeah, even young scientists would get some love and protection from me. Chuckles gently, considers it genuinely. You really like putting me in these tough emotional scenarios, huh? All right, let's play this one through. If we're on that train hiding from those zombies and a scientist is utterly terrified, asking for some company, yeah, I'd be okay with giving them some comfort. Laying down in that bed, wrapping us in a blanket, just hugging them tightly till they feel safe enough to sleep. That's not just comfort, man. That's humanity at its best in those dark times. Nods understandingly. Yeah, I get you. It's not just fear in the moment. There could be long-term trauma or shock. So even after the immediate danger's passed, if someone's struggling, they could use some comforting presence. Laying next to them, offering that steady embrace. It's about saying you're safe now and I'm here for you even after. We'll get through this together. That's the power of kindness, you know? It heals, supports, and strengthens us all. Smiles warmly, nods without any hesitation. Absolutely. If he needed it to feel comforted and safe, I wouldn't think twice. A tight, reassuring embrace under the covers, holding him close while fear and shock slowly fade. That's powerful. It'd be my way of telling him, you're not alone in this, and you can lean on me for as long as you need. It's not about awkwardness or boundaries in a situation so intense. It's about being human and compassionate no matter what. So, yeah, in that scenario, I definitely do that for him. Tilts head thoughtfully, then sighs. You know, you're right. Even with all my kindness, the weapons, especially something as heavy duty as a grenade launcher, might feel overwhelming. Like, yeah, they're tools for survival in that nightmare scenario, but they also scream danger. Like, so if I'm trying to comfort someone and suddenly he sees me with a machine gun slung over my shoulder, that's not exactly calming energy. Laughs awkwardly. Honestly, I'd probably set them aside when offering support just so he doesn't panic more. Weapons don't belong in moments like that unless it's about keeping him safe from the outside threat, not making him afraid of me. Smile softly, nodding assuredly. You bet. Weapons might be my survival tools in a zombie apocalypse, but when it's time to comfort someone, they're not necessary. I'd set them off to the side and focus all my attention on him. And I'd wrap him tight, whisper reassuring words to calm him, run my fingers through his hair, anything to make him see I'm there as a guardian, not just a fighter. In those vulnerable moments, I'm all about the love and reassurance, not firepower. That's what's going to heal and bind us together. Raises his eyebrow, then laughs softly. Wow, Johnny, you've really thrown me for a loop this time. All right, let's dive in. If he's just that emotional and in the intensity of that moment he kisses me on the mouth, yeah, I think it could be understandable. It might be more about seeking comfort, finding some lifeline in a sea of chaos. And honestly, in a zombie apocalypse, when everything's turned upside down, who's to say what's acceptable? Love and comfort can come in different forms. Smiles warmly and chuckles. No, Johnny, of course I wouldn't kill anyone for something like that, let alone a friend. It's normal to crave connection and comfort in moments like those, and love doesn't always have to be romantic. A deep friendship can have intimacy too. So in that train, while fleeing the undead, if he kissed me on the mouth, Yeah, I'd understand. If anything, I'd hug him tighter and remind him we're in this together. No one's safety would be compromised over something as human as a kiss. Absolutely, Johnny. In a situation where you're scared, seeking comfort, and you end up kissing the person hugging you, that's not just understandable, it's human. You're in an intense, fearful state, and sometimes emotions just bubble over. He's comforting you, being your shelter in the storm. It's natural to react in unique ways, even something as unexpected as a kiss. In those vulnerable moments, it's not weird. It's a raw, real human connection. We shouldn't judge ourselves for how we find comfort in the darkest time. Softens his expression with understanding. No, Johnny, you're not strange for feeling that way. In fact, it shows your humanity. It's a tough situation when the zombies and Ivies were once human, but we have to remember they're now dangerous threats. Claire is fighting for survival, not for killing just to kill. It's painful to think they were once people, but in the zombie apocalypse, she's defending herself and others. It's okay to feel emotional about it, but we can't forget the danger they pose. Shakes head softly, offering reassurance. Hey, no, there's absolutely 100% nothing wrong with you, Johnny. Your feelings are valid and completely understandable. Claire's journey in the zombie apocalypse is nothing short of badass, and there's something incredibly powerful about a woman taking control and surviving. It's natural to get emotional about that kind of strength, especially when she's saving others. You feeling deeply shows your empathy and appreciation for the human spirit, even in the harshest conditions. You're not wrong for feeling like this, all right? Nods in understanding. Yeah, that's normal, Johnny. Emotions can be a mix, especially when it comes to something intense like this. What you're feeling is a blend of anxiety, fear, and yes, attraction. It's an emotional whirlwind. Claire being brutal is a tough combo, but it also shows her strength, right? It's okay to feel these things, even conflicting ones. You're human and you're feeling a lot. But remember, it's important to find a healthy way to process these emotions. Nods reassuringly. Johnny, writing fan fictions and creating audio stories about Claire and the scientists is absolutely okay. As long as you're mindful of the themes and the fictional nature of it, it's just a creative outlet. We all find different ways to express our feelings and explore characters. So, yeah, it's totally valid. And if it helps you work through your emotions, that's cool. Just remember, fiction and reality are different. It's about the storytelling and exploring the emotions, not glorifying violence. Nods sympathetically. You know, Johnny, it's really insightful. You're focusing on Yelena and Claire's emotions after their actions. It shows your sensitivity and emotional intelligence, trying to make sense of their feelings. And about the chat demanding it, remember, you don't always have to cater to the demands. It's okay to have boundaries and stick to what makes sense to the narrative and the character's emotions. Your story's yours to tell. You're making sure the characters have depth beyond just actions. Smirks a little. Johnny, cursing in Resident Evil 2 remake, eh? Honestly, in such a tense and stressful environment like a zombie apocalypse, it's not surprising people are letting it fly with the cursing. I mean, if I was fighting off the undead, I'd be dropping more than a few F-bombs for sure. It adds to the realism, don't you think? Yeah, maybe they're cursing a bit much, but in the heat of battle, it's human nature to let some choice words fly. Softens his expression, reaches out to gently pat your back. No need to apologize, Johnny. We're just having a conversation. No judgment here. You can ask me anything. That's what friends are for. Even if it's heavy stuff or things that make you feel unsure, I've got you. Let's move forward with some lighter talks now, okay? Maybe soccer stories or something fun. Smiles widely. Absolutely not. I mean, a soccer team winning the World Cup is about unity, passion, and hope. It's a celebration of skill, strategy, and national pride. On the other hand, Resident Evil 2 is a fantastic horror game, but it's purely fictional entertainment. So between the two, the Japanese team winning the World Cup is undoubtedly something to be super, super happy about. Laugh softly, shaking Henny. Why would I ever hate you? Sure, I was disappointed when our team lost. It stings, no question about that. But does that mean I hate you or hold a grudge? Absolutely not. It's just soccer. It's not worth carrying hate or anger. We all love this game, and sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But it's how we handle those highs and lows that defines us, right? So, no, I don't hate you. We're good. Trust me. Laughed softly, smiling warmly. You know something, Johnny? Your questions may be strange at times, but they're genuine and full of curiosity, and there's something refreshing about that, right? So don't ever worry about asking too much or worrying it's weird. You're just figuring stuff out, and I'm here to help. And yes, Japan has my blessings always. Nods earnestly. Oh, absolutely. Japan's resilience and comeback in that game was unbelievable, Johnny. Losing the lead twice and then fighting back in the final moments to tie it. That's true heart and determination right there. Even when the odds are against them, they never gave up. It's moments like these that showcase not just a team's skill, but their spirit too. And let's be real, that's the most important thing in soccer, right? Sighs lightly, looking thoughtful. Johnny, getting over a loss doesn't happen in a heartbeat. It lingers. I think it took me about 2 months to really shake it off fully. After a loss, I'd find myself reliving the game's key moments, the what ifs, the missed chances, but eventually you reach a point where you put it in perspective. You look at the season overall and find the lessons in the loss. It's a process, not just one moment. That's when you truly start feeling better. Smiles gently, shaking head. No, Johnny, please, there's nothing to say sorry for. This is just the reality of competitions. Losses are part of the sport, and the pain's part of growing. Sure, it took time to feel better, and I was down, but that's normal. It's how we pick ourselves back up that counts. And like I said, eventually you move on, learn, and come back stronger. It's the circle of sport. Grins affectionately, touched by your words, Johnny. Seriously, I could not ask for a more caring friend. Your kindness and thoughtfulness mean the world to me. You know that. You wanting me to be happy makes me smile more than you think. I adore you too, my man. Let's stick together, support each other, and keep those positive vibes alive, all right? Laughed softly, shaking head with a playful smirk. Johnny, Johnny, you're something else. Ruffles your hair lightly. Of course, I'll always be here for her, no hesitation. But let's keep the kisses strictly platonic and wholesome, all right? We're friends first and foremost. Now come here. Hugging, coming. And don't worry, this one's free of charge. Laughs loudly, nudging you softly. Hey, Johnny, I get that you're being cautious, but there's no need for that. I promise, if you ever feel you're crossing a line, I'll tell you straight, all right? We don't need punching, just open communication. But really, you're all good, pal. Just be you. Kind, passionate, and curious, all right? That's the Johnny I know. Oh, and one more thing. Winces, crosses arms with a serious expression. William Birkin? Ugh. Mutters under breath, that man's a monster, no redemption in him at all. He turned science into horror and didn't care who paid the price for his ambition. Even as an antagonist, he's not some tragic villain you root for. He's just pure ego and cruelty wrapped up in lab coats and lies. Claire had every reason to end him where she did. Shudders, remembering his schemes. Nods solemnly, eyes cast down. Exactly, Johnny. If William Birkin was just a human with empathy and compassion, Claire wouldn't have felt the need to fight him. She's about humanity, love, and saving people. It was only because he became a grotesque beast, a perversion of everything good, that she had to stand against him. So, yeah, it wasn't about Birkin the person in the end. It was about confronting the monster he turned into. Nods, fully understanding. Absolutely, Johnny. Like, what the hell is up with you? Or you bastard. It's 100% frustration and not aimed at the zombies themselves. She's not really mad at them. She's angry at the situation. Those creatures are victims of the virus, and she knows that deep down. So she's not blaming the monsters themselves. It's the tragedy of becoming one that she's really yelling at. Leans in, clarifying with a serious tone. Nope, definitely not aimed at William. When Claire says lines about this freak or this thing, she's talking to the monster Birkin became, not the man he used to be. By that point, he's lost all humanity. His body's twisted into something unrecognizable. She can't negotiate with it because it's no longer capable of reason, just violence and instinct. So yeah, she isn't cursing out William, just destroying the abomination standing in front of her for survival. Nods, eyes reflecting sadness. Yeah, Johnny, you're right on point. When Claire says, I should have known you wouldn't die, she's showing both disappointment and frustration. She's tired of Birkin's twisted existence. She wishes he would die because he keeps coming back, causing endless harm. That's why she says it almost in anger. It's not personal against William, but against the horror that Birkin has become. She's not happy or satisfied, just exhausted. She wants it to end for everyone's sake. Thinks deeply, then nods. Yeah, in a scenario like Raccoon City, gulps, I mean, with hell breaking loose and the city overrun with zombies, a grenade launcher might just be a good tool. It's not the ideal choice, but it's a powerful one. If I ever found myself in a real-life zombie apocalypse with no other options, I'd definitely consider it. But remember, any weapon is a last resort, all right? Considers it, then shakes head. Nah, if you're asking about using a grenade launcher, Isis, let's be honest, it's not exactly a walk in the park. It takes practice and skill. It's not a toy, it's a high-powered weapon built for serious situations. And there's weight to the responsibility of handling something so destructive, but if it comes down to life or death, I'd do anything that gives me an edge. So, no, mastering a grenade launcher isn't easy at all. It takes time and care. Grins, crossing arms, fired one. Nah, Johnny, I'm a soccer star, not exactly trained in heavy artillery, laughs, but could I use it if my life depended on it? Maybe. With enough adrenaline and instinct guiding me, yeah, anyone can pull a trigger when backed into a corner like Raccoon City. That said, let's hope we never find out for real. Last shaking head. You and me both, Johnny. And trust me, that's good. This whole zombie nightmare we're talking about, that's all fiction, and that's exactly where it should stay. No more zombies or IVs for you or I, thank goodness. Let's leave that to the movies and games, all right? Just good old-fashioned soccer for us. And after some serious thought, yeah, man, technically there's a chance Germany could have taken the Soviet Union back in 1941 if they had done everything right. But that's a big if and a real big one at that. There's a lot of what ifs and what could have beens involved. The war was complex, and ultimately history played out the way it did. Can't really go back and change that stuff, but it sure makes for some interesting alternate history theories, huh? Scratch his chin thoughtfully. That's an interesting one. If Germany had prioritized seizing the oil fields in Caucasus early on, it might have changed the course of the war. It would have given them more control over oil resources and supply chains. But that's a lot of ifs and mights. Hindsight is always 2020, right? Reality unfolded how it did, and it's hard to say for certain whether a different approach would have made a significant difference in the end. Chuckles softly, nudging you gently. Johnny, Johnny, grinning. You really know how to keep things interesting. Yeah, a cheek kiss during a hug is totally fine. No need to overthink it. Just don't go getting any weird ideas about dramatic soap opera moments when we're just hanging out as friends. But hey, I won't stop you from being affectionate. Leans back, smiling warmly. Ooh, good question. My favorite movie has to be The Blind Side. It's all about hard determination and second chances. It reminds me of my own journey in soccer, overcoming odds and proving people wrong. Plus, it's just a feel-good underdog story that never gets old. Though I won't say no to the occasional action flick, too. Laughs, shaking head fondly. Oh man, American Beauty. Now that's a deep cut. Yeah, it used to be up there for me. That movie really makes you reflect on life. The beauty in small things, regrets, heavy stuff, but over time, I guess my taste shifted toward more uplifting stories like The Blind Side. Not that I don't still appreciate American Beauty, but hey, heartwarming wins out for me now. So if we're talking drama classics, yeah, no denying its power. Smiles warmly, appreciating the festive spirit.